Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Marketing Matchmaker. I am super excited about today's conversation because I know a lot of you in my audience are probably in this specific area, in that six-figure-ish mark. Maybe you're a little above, maybe you're a little below, but you really have the desire to reach seven figures. And that, my friends, is exactly what my friend Fabienne Fredrickson does for women in business. She's the founder of Leveraged Business Program. Fabienne, welcome to the show. I would love for you to give our audience just a little bit more about who you are and kind of what it is you do for people.
Sure. Thank you for having me. It's such a delight. I am, if you want to say it in two words, you could call me a business coach, although um, that really is very simplistic in the sense that I've been accompanying women for 24 years to go from five figures to six figures. And then once uh, if I could just be like straight, very
Absolutely, please.
transparent. Yeah. Once I hit for the first time seven figures 15 years ago, other women said, "How are you doing this with three small kids at home,
Yeah.
including a newborn?" And I said, "This is how you do it." And I've gained a reputation worldwide as the person to take women to seven figures with their life back by
That
creating a delicious life and not this like hustle, hustle, hustle. It's more like, can you be feminine, heart-based, and take 14 weeks of unplugged vacations a year and be at seven figures? That's what I do. And we do it by creating a leveraged business. Happy to unpack that today if you want. Happy to
Yeah,
share anything. You
I
just guide
love
me what
that.
you want me to share.
Absolutely. So the thing that I love about that is I actually, my audience knows a little bit of my history. I owned a digital marketing agency and we were ramping up to that seven-figure mark, but I lost exactly what it is that you teach people to do, which was my life. My business ate my life. Like I had no bandwidth to enjoy my vacations. And that's why I pivoted my business the way I did, so that we focus on consulting rather than that agency model. So I'd love to know, what exactly is a leveraged business? What do you mean by that?
Yes, a leveraged business. So let me take a step back. The way my brain works, Jennifer, is I'm always looking at how big of a result can I get for the littlest effort. And so I cook a lot. So I'm always looking at in the kitchen, how can I make like a show-stopping dish with three ingredients and mostly hands off? That's the way that I think about everything in my life, especially business. So a leveraged business is one that can scale from five to six or six to seven figures with you working less. Okay. It's about doing less better. And this isn't a markety, hypey message. It's actually, it's not like the thing I say all the time is it's not thinner thighs in 30 days, it's actually about doing less better. So a leveraged business is one in which I work with 99.9% female entrepreneurs, and it's about using the principle of leverage where you put a little bit of effort using a lever
Mhm.
and you get a lot of results. So it's really looking at removing you from the day-to-day operations of your business as much as possible.
Yeah.
The person who the you that got you to six figures being involved in everything is is not going to be the person who's going to get to seven figures. To grow and scale your business in a healthy way requires that you work less. I'll give you some examples. Many people who find themselves overwhelmed at six figures are still having a hand in everything. They're doing all of the marketing, all of the selling, they're operating without systems, or if they have systems, they're not documented. They're not seeing themselves as a process-driven company. They're seeing
Right.
themselves as themselves
Right. Absolutely.
running this business, right? And if you think about the fact, so think
Mhm.
about your friends who are not self-employed, right? They clock in and clock out of a job, and they're they're paid for doing the work.
Yeah.
You and I do the work too. Like our clients pay us, we do the work, whether it's consulting or widgets or whatever. But on top of that, and that's a full-time job, but on top of that, we've got a full-time job of marketing, which of
Right.
course you know
Absolutely.
so much about. We have to do the sales, and we have to do the hiring, and we have to do payroll, and we have to take care of the finances, and we have to take care of the systems, and we have to, all of that on top of the delivery of our work. And so when you ask a woman who's overwhelmed at six figures, she's working evenings, weekends. She's saying to her kids, one more email and mommy will be right there, way too often, right? So she's saying this
Absolutely.
to everybody in her life.
Right.
And she can't get ahead because everything depends on her.
Right. Absolutely.
So when you begin to leverage a team and hire people very affordably to start taking things off your plate, when you start to leverage systems so that you're not generating things all the time, your team can do things because it's documented.
Right.
They can do things for you without you being there. When you leverage your time and start, instead of being the doing person, you start thinking more. Instead of working on just money generating activities, you start looking at um, exponential growth activities. When you shift your business model from one to one, being the one that does everything for the clients and holds their hand, to leveraging your intellectual property, to working one to many, or to having there's all these different leveraged business models that allow you to work um, with more people being less involved. When you've got all of these things in place, you can pull yourself out of the day to day and apply the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, to make more working less. I mean, I just kind of flew by the whole process right there. Um, but that's what a leveraged business looks like. So you're making twice as much working half the time.
I love the concept of it, and it's so true. It's one of the things that I know oftentimes, especially my audience is a lot of service-based business owners. So there are going to be a lot of coaches and consultants and bookkeepers and VAs and, the people who provide services that often think that the only way to grow their business is doing that, like being the everything to those people.
Yeah.
I know a lot of growing your business has to do with your mindset around your business. What do
Mhm.
you suggest to my audience members that think, well, I do it all myself because I'm the only person that can do it, or I do it all by myself because I do it better, or um, they just don't have a concept of how to release the reins of that?
Yeah. I actually talk about this in my book. I'll just say the name of it
Yeah, absolutely.
in case
Please.
it serves. And then I'm happy to give a free copy of the book to anybody who wants it. I'll speak about that at the end if you
Yeah,
wish me to share that.
absolutely.
Um, in the book, The Leveraged Business, I actually address this. The fact in the third chapter, the Leverage Your Time chapter, which is about 100% of us think at one point in our life that we can do it better, faster, and more affordably if we could just do it ourselves.
Right.
Why would I pay somebody else to do something that I can do
Absolutely.
and do better Why would I pay somebody else? And anyway, it's going to take me forever to train them. And what if they just don't get it? I've been disappointed by team in the past. And so it's just not worth it to delegate it. 100% of people think that at one point or another. And when you shift your mindset around that, one of the concepts I talk about in the book and in my signature program is the concept of art versus craft. I talk about Michelangelo and the Sistine Chapel, the ceiling on the Sistine Chapel. He did not paint the ceiling, 100% of the ceiling.
Right.
He did not get up on the ladder. He did not he did not stir the paint. What he did is he created the art. This is where this is going to go, and this is what we're going to do. And the little clouds and the little cherubs are going to go here. But he didn't do all of the painting. He had the concept for the art, and then he had craftsmen who would get up on the ladders and paint. And then in the end, he went and Michelangeloized it at the end. You know, in my work, I
Right.
say, yeah, somebody writes something for me, they give it to me, and then I Fabianize it at the
Right.
end. And the point is to understand that you are masterful, but the mastery, the art is 20%. The craft in art versus craft is 80%. And that is delegatable. And when you can shift your mindset and say, yeah, it may only be as 80% as good as I would do it, but good is good enough. Good
Mhm.
enough is good enough. You can then begin to delegate about 80% of what you're working on now. Eventually, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens over a period of 6 to 12 months, 6 to 18 months, depending on the person. But when you allow yourself to shift into a new mindset and you ask yourself, would $1 million a year business owner be doing this? Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Not with any arrogance, but more like curiosity. I ask myself, would Oprah do this in her business? Right? And we find that we stay trapped in certain aspects of our business because of a rule that we have that says this needs to only be done by me. And when you shift that mindset and you hire properly, I talk about the ways to hire properly in chapter 1. You start surrounding yourself with people you trust, people who are wired to do things maybe even better than you do them.
Right.
And that's when you can stop the white knuckling of your business and start letting go of the things that keep you trapped in the day-to-day operations. And when you start doing that in every single area of your business, whether you see yourself as having a company or not, there's still, even if you're a solopreneur, you still have a finance department, you still have a marketing department. Even if you're each department, that's you can then start delegating. And what happens, Jennifer, is you start getting back your time. And time is your greatest commodity in a business. People say your list, your email list is, yes, that too. But your time is, and how you use it is like gold. And so if you were to get back about 6 hours a day over the course of 6 to 12 months, 6 to 8 hours a day you would get back because you're no longer involved in stuff that's not really moving the needle on your business. And you start focusing on exponential growth activities. You start growing your business to the level of scaling rapidly. If I'll say this in a second, but you scale rapidly and you get your evenings back and you get your weekends back, and you can begin taking one week off a year fully unplugged, and then 2, and then a month, and then you take the summer off. This is what happens if anybody's feel free to go on YouTube and look up my name, Fabienne Fredrickson. And you'll see story after story after story of women describing this. You can also go to my website, describing how they're making twice as much working half the time. And it's following this exact thing of shifting your mindset first. It's a mindset first methodology if you want to get out of the day-to-day operations of your business, really looking at every belief you have, every fear you have, and also your self-image, how you see yourself as a business owner. And from that vantage point, you start taking different actions that you weren't taking when you were starting to grow your business to six figures.
I honestly could not agree more with that whole description because as business owners, it is our mindset that holds us back the most. It keeps us from doing the scary things, the uncomfortable things, because whether it's marketing yourself or giving up control of a piece of your business, it is uncomfortable, right? We have to step out of that comfort zone and to release that.
Yeah.
If you were talking to someone who was at that six-figure-ish mark and they're looking to scale to seven figures, what would be the thing that they should focus on first? Like, what is that first step in that direction?
Uh, the process that's laid out in the book is a chronological, logical process.
Nice.
And it's, I would have you think about where are you still involved in your business? Where you really, deep in your heart, you shouldn't be. If you ask yourself, would a 7 or 8 figure business owner be doing this part of the business? And if the answer is no, then it's about leveraging a team. It's about having that team help you create systems, because the team will help you get your time back. The systems will have you no longer put out fires and have to be involved with everything. And that's when you gain back more time to then shift your business model even further to focus less on you being the doer and instead being the visionary, or even if you're still in the delivery, you're not doing as much, which then means that you can leverage your marketing even more. And you're an expert in this, so but
Yeah.
a lot of people are not leveraging the marketing. They're not being omnipresent enough. And so they're
Right.
still being a well-kept secret. And the more that you can leverage your marketing with your team, with your systems to fill the new business model that you have, the more you can scale your business, work with 2 to 5 to 10 times the clients you have now. But because the business model doesn't require you as much, you end up impacting so many more people's lives with your intellectual property, with your art, with your craft, but not being the one to do all the heavy
Yeah.
lifting. So I know you asked me where would you start, and I kind of gave you a lot of the thing in one very long sentence. But that's where you start.
So, step one is to get your book since it's laid
Yes.
out in a chronological
Yeah.
order. So, as
Yeah.
we wrap this up, if someone is wanting to get your book, how do they go about doing
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. So I offer the book for free on my website, which is Boldheart, like a bold heart, boldheart.com. And I'm super transparent. I ask people to pay for shipping. Meet me halfway. I'll print the
Absolutely.
book. It took me 8 years to write this book. It's my whole career wrapped into, 200
Right?
pages. Meet me halfway and pay the shipping,
Yeah.
right? Um, but the idea is, read the book, go to Boldheart, look at the success stories just to shift your mindset about what's possible. You'll see video after video after video, dozens and dozens and dozens, hundreds of videos of women who are at seven figures with 6 weeks of vacation, 8 weeks of vacation. They take the summer off, they get to be with their kids, all of that. And just that as a way to open up and normalize for yourself, open up your mindset around what might be possible. And then I do free events all the time online. I do a mindset event, 3-day event in the fall. There's plenty of ways to dip in and get a lot of free content. And if it ever speaks to anybody who's listening, I'm here if you want some help.
I appreciate everything that you do share to the community at large for free. And for those of you that are wanting to hit 7 figures and you're struggling with how do I go about doing this, step into Fabienne's world. Get the book at a minimum, but there might be some other
Yeah.
opportunity for you to connect with her. Um,
I do a free half-day event. If you go to if you go to boldheart.com and you look at the very top of the page,
yeah.
there's a free half-day event that I do on Zoom. I do it once a month. Feel free to be my guest. It's a way to hear the whole process. And if it speaks to you one day, perhaps you'll join me. And if not, then you've gotten all the information, and I hope it's useful.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for being with me, Fabienne. I loved this topic because I believe most of my audience sits in this space. They are looking to get to that next level of business, and some of them don't have the understanding of how to go about doing it without doing what I did, which was have my business eat my life. That is
Yeah.
definitely something we want to avoid as we grow our business. For those of you out there looking to
Awesome.
grow your business, increase your revenue, and scale your impact, and you're not sure what to do first or next when it comes to your marketing, I would love to have a conversation with you. Head over to yourmarketingmatchmaker.com to sign up for a free strategy call. Until our next episode, get out there and get in front of somebody new. Thank you for listening to the Marketing Matchmaker podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love to hear your feedback. Please head over to Apple, iTunes, and leave a review so we can hear from you. And if you are a coach, consultant, or online course creator who are looking to grow your business, increase your income, and scale your impact, connect with me at yourmarketingmatchmaker.com. I look forward to hearing from you.